For the second straight game in the SEC, Oklahoma goes on the road and grabs a massive win that keeps them in the college football playoff hunt. Eli Bowen, 87-yard interception return for a touchdown. Jaden Hardy punches out a football that leads to a fumble recovery. It was wine time in Tuscaloosa, and John Mateer bullies his way into the end zone. Oh, and by the way, Tate Sandell still can't miss a field goal. Sooners win on the road at Roll Tide, and Oklahoma is on the bracket. Can they stay there? A major test coming to Owen Field this Saturday. Hi, everybody. Toby Rowland with you alongside Teddy Lehman and Gabe Eichert, and welcome to Sooner Game Day, brought to you by Taco Mile. OU, Missouri, 11 a.m. Saturday on Owen Field. First off, how we doing, fellas? This is fun, huh?
I mean, meaningful football in the month of November in Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Huge stakes. Feels like everything's on the line. What else could you ask for, Ted?
Well, it just opens up a whole new, a different group of frustrations and anxiety and worries, right? It's like whether you're in it or not in it, November is uncomfortable.
Bottom line is, if Oklahoma wins out, they could host, likely would host, a college football playoff game in Norman. That sounds good, doesn't it, Ted?
Oh, man. It
Take care of business first, though.
It sounds amazing. And I'm not even going to sit here and pick and choose who I want the matchup to be.
No. We all know we want it to be Notre Dame. But I think just this fan base, this has been kind of a rough stretch, especially 2 out of the last 3 seasons. Let's be real. And we knew we had a good football team coming into the season. We especially knew that this defense was going to be really, really good. And it feels like if we can just find a little bit of improvement on the offensive side of the ball, we're going to be in business. And if this team plays its best football, it can beat anyone in the country. And I think that's why the fan base is so excited, and also that's why the fan base is complaining about the offense a lot. And I totally get that, because special teams have been elite. The defense has been elite. We just need to get a little improvement from John Mateer in that offense, and, man, we're going to be feeling really good about things.
Hang on a second. Let's stay on this shot. Can you show it? What's the shirt?
I've told these guys, if you do
Short
NIL
shorts,
merch and you give
long
it to
kicks.
me, I will wear it on television. It is common knowledge.
Even
at
a
this
shot
point.
at Herb Street.
Flag that,
Yeah.
Herb Street.
Isn't that good? That's pretty good.
Teddy, you love great defense. How about what this defense did the last 2 games at Tennessee and at Alabama?
It's crazy. Just fantastic stuff. The turnovers have been critical. We've been waiting. We've known, as good as they've been playing defense, that it's just a matter of time for the turnovers to start happening. And they have, and credit these guys. They've done, the majority of those 2 games are without our Mason Thomas, your best player on defense, most productive player on defense. And it's everyone's contributing. There's, Taylor Wine has the big sack fumble. Eli Bowen has the interception. There's tackles for loss. There's pass breakups all across the board. You get something from everyone. It's a great group to watch.
Davon came in. Day even made a play down at Alabama, seemingly from off the sidelines. Gabe, we're going to dive deeper into it, but what seems to be the issue with the offense right now?
I think the lack of a vertical passing threat is really limiting what this offense can accomplish. Defenses do not feel threatened by our wide receivers, and frankly, we're not running very many deep routes to make them feel threatened. We're certainly not trying to push the ball down the field, and that's just bringing everything really close to the line of scrimmage. And if everything is really close to the line of scrimmage, it's hard to run the football efficiently, and it's hard to be really good in the intermediate passing game when guys are sitting on all of those routes, Ted.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest issue for me. And you've heard Venables say it the last couple of weeks, we need to be more explosive. I would love to see us at least just attempt some of those things, especially early in this Missouri game, to at least get that into their mind. Like, hey, they're being aggressive today. They're going to take some shots, especially you consider what our running back situation is heading into this football game, we're going to need to lean on John Mateer and this wide receiver core. Those guys are going to have to make some big plays in the passing game.
Yeah. When I look at it, you want to force a defense to defend the entire field. You have to really attack them with speed. You have to attack them horizontally with some of the jet sweep stuff, the perimeter stuff, and you have to attack them vertically. And when they have to defend the whole field, that's whenever the running game opens up. That's when the underneath passing game opens up, the crossers. We've played it. It feels like the offense has been conservative, vanilla. There hasn't been a whole lot of creativity, and I think a lot of that may just be, listen, our defense is playing great right now.
Right.
Let's play it close to the vest and, not do anything bad, take huge tackles for loss or turn the football over. But, there's going to come a point in this game against LSU, if you happen to make the playoff, where you're going to have to get aggressive and take some risks on offense.
There's a fine line from between being too conservative and being efficient.
Yeah.
And it feels like we're starting to float toward the too conservative side of things. So I know that this offense wants to come out and play its best game of the season. And I think they're capable of doing that. But if they're going to do it, it's going to be against one of the better defenses in the country. Missouri is bringing a very, very talented and physical group on the defensive side of the ball. So it's not going to be easy, but this is when John Mateer needs to be the guy that we saw earlier in the season, the playmaker, the difference maker. That's the John Mateer that needs to show up tomorrow.
One quick point. I would love to see this offense, start pushing, bust things open. But the other part of this is the formula right now is working.
Exactly.
Correct.
So, I know.
I'm not saying come out and throw it 40 times.
But I'm saying, I know for the fans and why it's frustrating right now, but this formula is working.
You're going into every game saying we're going to win the defense, we're going to win special teams. Don't screw it up on offense. But at the same time, you're right. Sooner or later, they're going to need that offense to go score.
We have been +3 in the turnover battle in the 2 huge wins.
Mm-hmm.
Well, +1 at Tennessee, but I get what you're saying. They took 3 takeaways.
We've taken the ball away 3 times.
Yeah.
We've scored on defense in both of them.
We've scored on defense in every single conference win since we've joined the SEC.
Is that right?
Every single one of them.
How
Auburn,
about that?
Alabama. Auburn this year, safety. South Carolina, safety. Touchdown against Alabama, touchdown against Tennessee.
That's a great stat. I had not heard that.
That is
Let's go score on
remarkable.
defense Saturday.
But I love scoring on defense. Scoring touchdowns on defense
Let's
is great.
go.
But there is to a certain point, you're like, we're not going to keep scoring on defense.
It's not sustainable.
Yes, and that's where the offense, as an offensive guy, I viewed the game very differently than Ted.
Uh-huh.
He's like, just don't mess it up, offense.
Right.
And I'm like, can we just crank this thing up, Be
a little more
And
aggressive.
I think there is more there offensively with John Mateer, especially with the way that the ball looked coming out of his hand in Tuscaloosa. He looks as healthy throwing the football as we've seen in quite a while. So I just think there's more. You're going to need, in my opinion, you're going to need more from the offense.
For sure.
If you want to accomplish what you want to accomplish. And it would be awfully nice if that offensive improvement started tomorrow.
For sure. We'll get more to that in a second. But we're talking Missouri, and if you're talking Missouri, you've got to talk Ahmad Hardy, maybe the best running back in America. The Sooners have their work cut out for him trying to slow this guy down, Ted.
Yeah, he's great. It starts off with what they do foundationally as an offense. You look over since Drink has been at Missouri, I think they've had 3 finalists, for the running back awards, and they're going to have another one this year, and that includes him. But personally for him, physical, great leg drive. He runs incredibly low. He's got great vision. He's a great cutback player. He's got everything that you want as a running back. And again, it just marries up with what they do scheme-wise perfectly.
He is the best we've seen. Him and Kewan Lacey.
Yeah. I'd say Kiwan may be a little bit better of a more dynamic of an athlete.
All around back.
But this running game in combination with Hardy's traits is really good.
He's fantastic. Limiting him in that outside zone scheme, and we'll see what happens with him at the quarterback position. But limiting Hardy is the key to OU's defense having the type of performance they want to have.
Missouri defense might be the best Oklahoma has seen all year. In fact, this might be a matchup. Now, this is going to make the old school SEC establishment very angry. But this might be a matchup Saturday, Oklahoma and Missouri, between the two best defenses in the SEC.
You're going to have a tough time getting an argument out of me that isn't the case. They've been very, very good. They are extremely physical. They've got good size, length, athleticism at all three levels of their defense. Good on the interior of their defensive line, stout, heavy, dynamic with length on the edge, really good and physical inside backers can really run. Like they look the way you want your defense to look, and they play the way that you want your defense to play. The only thing, and this is interesting, they have not given up much as a defense, but when teams have had successful plays against them, they've given up some big chunks, especially against Texas A&M. So that hopefully our offense can produce some really explosive plays.
Let's talk about the matchup between the OU offense and the Missouri defense when we come. Think about that 2 years ago when OU's going into the SEC. If I said in year 2, Oklahoma and Missouri would have the best defenses in this league. It's astonishing. We'll take a timeout. OU offense versus Missouri defense. We're breaking it down for you. Coming up next on Sooner Game Day, brought to you by Taco Mine. Sooners and the Missouri Tigers, the old Big 8, Big 12 foes meeting now in the SEC at 11 a.m. on Saturday. The only matchup in the SEC this weekend of two ranked opponents. Of course, we're playing it at 11 o'clock in the morning. That makes a lot of sense. But anyway, let's talk about the Oklahoma offense against the Missouri defense. Run game up here first. Now, the last couple of weeks, Gabe, they were moving the ball better and better on the ground. Xavier Robinson was getting in a flow. And then it kind of got shut off against Bama. He got dinged up a little bit. It looked like we don't exactly know his status, although he hasn't been on the injury report. The run game a concern for you coming into this one?
Certainly.
Especially against Missouri?
Certainly. I mean, Missouri, the core of their defense, I believe, is the strength of their defense. I think they're really good in their front seven, especially against the run. Their interior defensive linemen are heavy, play with good pad level, good hands. Zion Young and that edge group are really physical. They've got good length. I mean, they look the part along the defensive line. And then I really like the way that their inside backer group plays, especially Josiah Trotter, number 40. Xavier Robinson did not look very good to me once he came back in the game against Alabama after taking that shot to his leg. Now, credit to him for displaying incredible toughness and going out there and doing what his team needed him to do. But it was pretty clear when you watch the tape, he was not the same guy. Kind of in the back half of that game after taking that shot to his leg. And then Torrey Blaylock, who has been fantastic throughout the season, just looks a little off, Ted. He doesn't look like he's got the dynamic explosion that we saw from him early in the season. He's clearly dealing with something or some things, which brings me to Jay Knott.
Wouldn't that be something?
This young man, he's got a chance. Let's be real. He's got a chance to change his reputation nationally. I mean, he was the big transfer portal running back. He has not contributed much to this football team. If he can go out in this game and play at a really high level and be productive, that would be massive for this team. We all know what's on the line, but just because Xavier Robinson's not on the injury report doesn't mean he's feeling great,
Sure.
you know?
Yeah.
That is an indicator of, is he practicing or not? So it's not an ideal situation at running back coming into this one, Ted.
No, it's not. You know, and who knows what the personnel is going to be, but, you know, here's the thing. No matter who it is, I think some of the things that we can do can still have some success against Missouri. I think we still need to threaten them laterally with the jet sweep stuff.
No
Satania
doubt.
has been great in that part. I think John Mateer is going to, I imagine, be a bulk ball carrier this week. And I think there's a lot of things that we can do to help him out. Spread them out, empty formations, small personnel, have them match and be able to do some stuff on the inside. And then, at some point, it just comes down to moving people. And our offensive line is going to have to move some guys, get aggressive, fire off the football, and get some movement up front. Because some of the best stuff we saw against Alabama, I mean, there was a play action dig route that we ran off a zone insert look. If we can have some success and start stressing their players by having to move to get to different areas instead of playing everything kind of in a phone booth, then I think we can have some success regardless of who the personnel is.
How do you like the matchup in the trenches here, Gabe? OU's O-line has been looking pretty good with all the kiddie core out there, all the freshmen.
And we saw, it was good to see Derek Simmons get back out there on the field and play some snaps. We didn't know if we were going to see him in an OU uniform again. So that was encouraging as far as the depth of the group. And we'll see what it looks like at right tackle between Foje and Simmons. I'll let Bill Bedenbaugh figure that out. But it's going to be a big challenge. This is a physical, athletic group that's got really good length for Missouri along the defensive line. It's going to come down to who wants it more. And you got to play with great technique. You got to play with great effort. You got to play with great strain. But I do think, that's a penalty, I do think that Ted is spot on about stretching this defense laterally, and the proof is on tape. Texas A&M's most successful stuff, they didn't get much for the first 3 quarters of the game against Missouri, but what they got was speed sweep action. And just handing the ball to those wide receivers and running speed sweeps, handing it to the running back just on a wide handoff and attacking the perimeter of this Missouri defense. That has been a weak point of theirs. They don't have many, but that has been a weak point, and something that we've done throughout the season with Mateer, we did it in Tuscaloosa, is kind of the read run game with him, where one element is threatening the perimeter of the defense, whether it's a speed sweep action with the wide receiver or the running back just taking a wide track, threatening the perimeter of the defense, while John Mateer, there's a QB gap scheme action as the other option. That all happening on the same play, and Mateer's reading those defenders on the outside. If they're flat-footed, he's handing that stuff. If they're running with the outside action, if they're running with the full flow, he's keeping it and running the gap scheme run, whether that's QB power or QB GT counter is traditionally what we've seen from Arbuckle this season. I think those concepts and Mateer making good decisions in those situations, I think it's going to be a very, very big part of this game, especially the run game.
You mentioned, Teddy, that Mateer running the football could be a big factor, especially with the unknown status of the running backs. Throwing the ball, he's looked better. It looks like the thumb may be feeling better and better. Still hits happy feet at times back there. What's your evaluation on what he needs to do Saturday?
Yeah, he's going to have to play well. And speaking of the run game stuff, again, I think spreading them out, forcing their defense to cover you all over the field is going to be critical, and that's where you're going to have some better windows for him. The run game for him, whenever we've piled everyone into the box, hasn't been all that great like it was early in the season against, say, Michigan. Now, you're going to have to do some of that stuff, but I think spreading them out, empty, maybe with the tight end there in the wing, you can run the counter stuff, you can run some insert stuff, you can run quarterback draw, just to give him some space and some windows to be able to run. And then just obviously pulling it down and, going and doing his own thing in the passing game. One thing that we've had some success with, and it's, it's one of those plays this year that you start to see from a lot of people, is if we can get Satania going in the jet sweep game, the quarterback counter off of that, where you're really stretching the defense on both sides, can be a dangerous play.
Yeah. Bottom line is the offense didn't look great at Alabama. They didn't turn it over. And in a 2-point game, that was massive. Got to keep that up.
cherish the football.
Yeah.
Cherish the football. Now, good news. The two main things that Missouri's defense have struggled with from what I have watched, speed sweep, bubble screens.
Okay.
Those are pretty low-risk plays. You know, it's hard to turn it over on speed sweep, and it's hard to turn it over on throwing bubble screens. So attack the perimeter, attack the edges of that Missouri defense.
Let's go to the other side of the ball when we come back. The Missouri offense against the Oklahoma defense. We're talking about the big matchup Saturday in Norman between the Sooners and the Tigers next on Sooner Game Day. Getting into late November, big-time college football games being played. We got one of the best Saturday on Owen Field, Oklahoma and Missouri. Let's talk about the Sooner defense against Ahmad Hardy, who knows at quarterback yet, and the Missouri offense. We'll start with the scoop, brought to you by Brown's Ice Cream and Dairy Stores. All right, Ahmad Hardy goes for 300, Ted, against Mississippi State. Top 3-4 in the nation in yards per game, number 1 in the SEC. When he has been held under 100 yards rushing this year, they are just 1-2. You see that stat there at the bottom. Oklahoma's been great defensively against the run. This is an elite matchup. Can Missouri run the football or not Saturday?
Well, you know, I really like the matchup for our defense. I mean, it's what we're good at, disciplined football. And, you know, where they really take advantage is you get one guy that's cut off, one guy that, you know, overruns a responsibility, and that's where they make you pay. And obviously he runs through contact really well. A lot of his yards come after first contact. But, you know, as disciplined as we've been, as dialed into the scheme and game plan as our players have been, I think we'll do a really good job. Now, here the problem is you can do a really good job for 95% of the plays, but it's that other 5% where they can, you know, hit you on a 70-yard touchdown, hit you on a 55-yard explosive. So we're going to have to be dialed in. You can never relax in the run game, but there's no doubt the best thing that you can do is sell out to stop the run and force them into 3rd and long, and that's where they become a very average football team really quickly.
All right, talking about the quarterback, Zollers, the freshman, has been playing since Bo Perbula went down with that dislocated ankle. Perbula might be ready to go, Gabe, on Saturday. We'll see. That he was upgraded to questionable the last availability report we saw. Does it matter, in your opinion, which quarterback Oklahoma faces here?
I think it does, but I think it's more of like an emotional thing for Missouri. Like if you get your guy back, you're going to have an emotional lift.
Sure. Yeah.
If you're that football team, if your captain quarterback is able to give it a go. Now, we'll see. One of the things that makes Bo Perbula such an effective player is his ability to run. He can really run, but he dislocated his ankle like a month ago. So I don't know what type of mobility he will have. It's hard for me to imagine he'll be as effective with his legs and they'll be able to dial up as much QB read run game and all those things that they typically do with him that really stresses the defense. If you're getting a Bo Perbula that is less mobile and has to play from the pocket, sign me up.
Yeah.
I think that favors us in a big way. I think you'll either get a less mobile Perbula, Ted, or you're getting a true freshman. You've got to feel good about it.
What have you seen from Zollers, if it is Zollers, Ted?
I mean, he's what you'd expect from a young quarterback. I think he's got a good arm. He's accurate. He can throw the fade route and everything really well. But he's a one-read guy. You know, he's going to catch it and throw it right away. See, he's locking onto his guys. Whenever they give him a read concept, it's a one side of the field read concept. He's not scanning. He's totally the opposite of what you see from Ty Simpson. He's going to lock on, which gives your secondary players a good chance to be able to drive on some balls. See, he stares that one down. You know, to me, the matchup at quarterback is not a good one for Missouri, regardless of who plays. Frankly, I would say give me Perbula, because he's not going to be, I mean, not for 4 quarters, he's not going to be able to move the way that he has all season. That's what he brings to the table, is his playmaking ability. And with that ankle, the limitation, I just don't see any way he can be nearly as effective as he has the rest of the season. And if they're going to split reps with their quarterbacks and, they're going to see if Pribula can go and they're going to be trading through practice, I think that's a benefit to Oklahoma.
I think, and Zollers is a decent athlete.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a statue back there. I think that if Pribula can play, he's going to play. And I think if you're Eli Drinkwitz, you're looking at it going, who do I trust more to not make the critical error? And that's going to be, the answer to that for him is going to be Pribula over Zollers. But Pribula, he is used to going out there and being able to get out of trouble with his legs. If he's not able to do that, he's not going to be the same guy. And we'll find out how he feels operating from within the pocket and having to play like quarterback. So
he's going to be thinking about his ankle the whole time. He's in the pocket. That's what I'm saying. Sign me up.
Yeah.
If he plays, I don't think there's any way he plays the whole game.
It ultimately comes down to stop the run, limit the run game, and force, whether it's Pribula or Zollers, if they're playing in 3rd and medium and 3rd and long, that is a big advantage to Brent Venables in this defense.
I'll say this. Whenever Bo Pribula comes back, whether it's this Saturday or next, give the kid some credit because that was one of the nastiest injuries you'll ever see on a football field. And if he's back playing again, wow. Ted, nobody does more research than our friend Ted Lehman. You've dug into the numbers. If you can slow down Ahmad Hardy, if you could slow down the Missouri running game, because it's more than him, Roberts is really good as well, and you could force 3rd and long, 3rd and medium, that bodes well for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you look at their numbers. It's like if you just scan, you say, how are they on 3rd down? Well, they're 50%. They're 2nd in the SEC. That doesn't tell the whole story. If you look in SEC games only, drops down pretty quickly to 33%. And then if you look at the best opponents they've played in the SEC, the ranked opponents, it's down to 26%. And then you look at the 3rd and long where they can't run the ball. Often they're in 3rd and 2, which as good as they run it, that's just another down for them. It's no problem, and they often will go for it on 4th down. But if you get them in 3rd and 7 or more, there's like 1 conversion in 3 games against ranked opponents. And if you go and look like on drives where they score touchdowns, rarely are they ever in any type of 3rd and long. So it goes back to what Gabe just said and what we've been talking about. Stop the run, make them one-dimensional.
Pretty good research. Well done by you.
Look at the big brain on this guy.
Big brain.
I wish I had the access to the stats they did. I had to go play-by-play through all of their games.
Old school, baby.
Yeah.
Time for Chick-fil-A. What brings you pleasure? Gabe, what would bring you the most pleasure watching this game Saturday?
0 turnovers.
For Oklahoma.
For Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Let me make that very clear.
Yeah.
Well, lots of takeaways for our defense. Lots of takeaways, like it's been happening for our defense. But I continue to believe if this offense takes care of the football with the way that we're playing on special teams and the way that we're playing on defense, we're going to be in great shape. So cherish the football. I would get a lot of pleasure in no turnovers for the Oklahoma offense.
Well, the low-hanging fruit would say score on defense. That's how we win SEC games. But I'll say no explosive running plays. I think they're gonna get some stuff. 6-yard runs, 8-yard runs. They may break one for 10 or 12. But if we can limit Hardy from having the 70-yard run, the 55-yard run, those are the real problems with him. And you saw, even Mississippi State did a pretty good job on him for a long time until he started breaking some of those long runs, and that's where he piled up a lot of that yardage. If we can limit that, I think we'll be in a good spot.
All right, break time. Gabe, show us your shirt again. We're giving some love to the special teams.
Go order Sandel's shirt.
When we come
Support the
back,
best kicker in America. Oh,
you're watching Sooner Game Day. Yes,
I did get a text from a Lou Groza Award voter.
Yes,
who said it's his award to lose.
Wow. Got to keep making kicks.
Keep making kicks, Tate.
We'll be back. Sooner Game Day, OU Mizzou coming up 11 a.m. on Owen Field on Saturday. Let's talk special teams, and they deserve their flowers at OU. What Oklahoma did at Alabama, they've been great all year, but what they did at Alabama was completely dominant. I don't know that I've seen an SEC game where one team so dominated the other in special teams. We'll run down the list for you. It started here. Isaiah Satania's big punt return after Alabama's opening possession, put Oklahoma in great field goal range. They would cash that in with a field goal. Grayson Miller's punt here, forcing back Ryan Williams, and then he'd end up fumbling. Jaden Hardy, how about the punch out? The peanut punch is what they call it.
The Hardy hammer.
Hardy hammers, even better. Sammy Omosigho digs it out. That's another turnover.
Oh my gosh.
This is right
Show
before
us the
halftime.
kicker yelling at the long
Come on,
snapper.
get the snap
please.
down. What are we doing?
Come on, oh, there he is. Angry kicker.
Taylor Wine got a finger on that, by the way.
He thinks just because he does some curls on Fridays, he can yell at the real football players.
You also
the
had
buck.
Grayson Miller with a punt that pinned Bama at the 6-yard line for their final possession of the game, which ended up big. This special teams unit, it's Sandell, but it's more than him, Teddy. They have been great across the board.
They have. I've felt like an idiot for like the last 8 years because I've been saying it's special teams, it's field position, all of that matters. And then, it's just been, we've won games a bunch of different ways, but now it's absolutely critical to what we do. Coverage units have been great. Alabama kept bringing the ball out. Mm-hmm. You get it on the 25. I don't think they got it to the 25 one time whenever they're bringing the kick returns out. Or we got the number 1 kick return or kick coverage team in the country, or in the SEC rather. The punt game has been great. Field goal kicking, it all works together and all feeds that defensive machine. If you can force teams to go 85, 90 yards on them to score a touchdown, rarely going to happen. It's been huge.
Our producer, Grant Wade, does an outstanding job, award-winning producer.
No doubt.
But he so takes Tate Sandell for granted at this point. He left the 52-yard field goal he made at Alabama.
There's just too
off
many
the
of
highlight
them.
reel.
There's too many of them.
He's 7 for 7 for 50-plus. What a weapon this kid has turned into.
He's the best kicker in America. I mean, there's just no other way to say it. No one has been more reliable in the country than Tate Sandell. And let's make it very, very obvious to me. We do not win in Knoxville and do not win in Tuscaloosa with him.
No way.
Absolutely.
That's how, he has been the difference between us having a decent season and us possibly having a special season that we never forget. He has been unbelievable. And I know a lot of people are very superstitious about special teams, about field goal kicking. I get it. But the way that he's hitting the ball, I got no problem wearing the shirt. I got no problem talking about it. I just think he has been excellent, and he's kicking with one of the highest levels of confidence I've ever seen. He is flushing everything. He's been incredible. I've never said so many nice things about
Gotta keep making kicks, Tate.
Well,
Gotta
that's
keep
it. That's the thing.
Turn on you quick, buddy.
Well, he's won us 2 games.
For sure.
So if he misses a kick, I'm like, hey, at some point the offense has to do a little more for Tate and not make him trot out there and hit 50-yarders. How about that?
That's true.
Come on, offense.
We'll take a break. We'll take a look at the potential CFP bracket when we come back here on Sooner Game Day.
Thank you to our cornerstone television partners, OU Health, OG&E, Fowler Auto Group, and Coca-Cola. Sooner Game Day is presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Riverwind Casino, the official entertainment destination of OU Athletics. The Sooner Sports Podcast is your all-access audio pass to Sooner Sports. Listen as Toby Rowland and Chris Plank talk all things Sooners. Log on to Soonersports.com/podcast or search Sooner Sports Podcast in your favorite podcast provider. The Sooner Sports Podcast is presented by Allstate and Riverwind Casino. Sooner Game Day is presented by Sooner Kids Club. Log on to Soonersports.com/kids for information about joining the Kids Club presented by OG&E and brought to you in part by Devon Energy. One Oklahoma, powered by Sooner Sports Properties. Fan-fueled, athlete-focused. OU's 2025 football games are available on Ritmo 96.5 FM in Oklahoma City and 101.5 FM El Patron in Tulsa, as well as on these stations' websites. Each OU Spanish broadcast will feature a 30-minute pregame show and a 15-minute postgame show.
Teddy, Gabe, Toby back with you. It's Sooner Game Day, getting set for OU Mizzou at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning in Norman. This NCAA update is brought to you by Taco Mayo. Well, the win at Alabama has put Oklahoma on the bracket for now and hopefully forever for the college football playoff. Here's what it would look like. The latest college football rankings coming out on Tuesday have Oklahoma at 8. And if you stopped the count now, we would have OU Notre Dame on Owen Field. That Alabama-Oregon game's pretty juicy as well down there, the 7-10 matchup.
My goodness. Look at how fun that looks. I mean, it is. We're right where we want to be, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people debate, hey, do you actually want to play in the conference championship game? Now, if you finish 10-2, got a chance to get rested instead of going and playing in a conference championship game with potentially playing yourself into a bye, you just trade it off and say, hey, we'll take the home game. I love where we're sitting right now. And
what's your rooting guide here? I guess now the point is trying to move up, right?
The rooting guide used to be, how can we get in if we go 9-3? Now it's clear. We got to take care of business. I think you're cheering for everyone in front of you to lose. I think it's as simple as that. Like Oregon losing to USC, I'm not saying cheer for USC. Would never say that. But if Oregon drops one, all of a sudden we're the 7 seed. You're feeling even better about your chances of hosting a game. That's the rooting guide now, is what needs to happen for us to host a game in Norman.
Oregon goes to Washington as well still.
Washington, pretty good football team. Ole Miss also in front of you, sitting there with one
nothing
loss.
going on there.
They don't have any distractions or anything, so that would be nice if they dropped the game.
Still got the Egg Bowl.
That's right.
What do we think about Alabama? Personally, I want him to go to Auburn and get beat.
War Eagle.
I want him out of the picture.
Sure.
Right? Because I think they're a really talented football team. I know we just went to Tuscaloosa and took care of them, but if we could get like Utah in the field instead of Alabama, yeah, sign me up.
Yeah. Well, I know there's a lot of people screaming at the camera right now. Just win.
Yes.
We understand. Oklahoma's got to win for this to matter. But let's talk Pick'em scoreboard now. Game Day Pick'em brought to you by Riverwind. 5 games that you guys pick every week. And the standings
Boom,
at the top.
baby!
Gabe is our leader with 31 correct picks on the year. Teddy, 29. The triad of Chad, myself, and Stanford Steve, right? Is that who Steve is?
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah, he picked for us one week. So that's how you guys did last week. Gabe, how about that? 5 for 5. Teddy, 5 for 5 as well. Nicely done.
Yeah.
We're peaking, just like our football team. We are peaking at the proper time.
Yeah, the formula, got to get the formula right.
All right, let's take a look at this week's games. We'll start with Tennessee at Florida. This is the primetime game in the SEC. Ted, you get first pick here.
I'll take Tennessee. Florida is a very volatile football team.
Yeah.
They'll play good for long stretches and then some really bad stuff. I think Tennessee, just all around the better team. Give me Tennessee.
They had essentially a bye week to get ready for it as well. I'm a little concerned about Joey Aguilar turning the football over lately, but I'll take the Vols to go and get it done in the Swamp.
Tennessee does not win in the Swamp very often, but I do think they're the better football team. I'll take the Vols as well. Pitt at Georgia Tech. Big showdown in the ACC. Gabe?
I'm going to take Georgia Tech for one reason and one reason only. I love Haynes King.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Haynes King losing on senior night there in Atlanta, although some people think the wrong team is favored in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to go Georgia Tech. I got to pick some spots here to be different from you if I'm going to catch you.
That's true.
I'm not on this one. I'm going to go with Georgia Tech.
Narduzzi, but this game matters to Narduzzi, remember?
Yeah, the bye week
wasn't
against
even
Notre
trying
Dame.
last week.
It's hard to take Pitt after that, watching that performance, so I'll take Georgia Tech.
I'll take Georgia Tech as well. USC and Oregon, we were just talking about this game. It's going to be at Autzen Stadium. USC has a path to the college football playoff, but they got to beat Oregon on the road to get there, Ted.
Pressure-packed game. It's going to be a crazy environment. Dan Lanning's probably going to be going psycho again. Give me Oregon. Yeah.
Oregon?
Oregon.
Lincoln Riley has struggled in big road games at USC. Give me Oregon. I've never been there, but I'm told Autzen is, for a big game, it's as good as it gets. I am a little concerned about USC having the more dynamic playmakers with Lemon and Lane and some of the injuries Oregon's been dealing with their wide receiver core. But culture win. Give me Oregon.
I was going to take USC, but the lawyers told me I'm legally not allowed to at OU, so give me Oregon as well. BYU and Cincinnati, team still jockeying for position, trying to make it into that Big 12 championship game. Who do you have here?
I'm going to give you an opening.
Okay.
Cincinnati at night. Quarterback
In the Queen City.
He can spin it a little bit. I know that they haven't been their best lately. Bounce back in a tough L for the Cougs.
I like your pick. I'll go opposite, BYU. I like the way they play. Sound, disciplined, team football. I'll take BYU.
I like Gabe. I'll go Cincinnati here as well. And finally, Kentucky and Vanderbilt in the SEC, Ted. Games in Nashville.
I'm going to go Vanderbilt. Kentucky's playing some good football now. They're more dangerous than they've been through most of the season, but I'm going to go with Vanderbilt. They got more on the line. They have to win it.
Mark Stoops is kind of, that team has found itself ever since the quarterback change. However, just Vanderbilt still with the outside shot of making the college football playoff. If they get some breaks, some help along the way, they can backdoor their way into the field. Give me the Commodores.
Vandy sliding, Kentucky on the rise.
Oh, my.
Give me the upset. I'm going to take Mark Stoops and Kentucky in this one. Break time. We got your hot takes for OU Mizzou when we come back to wrap it up next on Sooner Game Day, brought to you by Taco Mile.
Sooner Game Day is presented by Air Comfort Solutions. Your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. Coca-Cola. Fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola. OG&E. We energize life. OU Fan Shop. The best place to gear up for game day is shop.soonersports.com. OU Health. Never done and never outdone.
Sooners in the NFL brought to you by One Oklahoma. How about Marvin Mims? He continues to be a weapon in the punt return game, over 100 yards last week. Mark Andrews sets a Ravens franchise record. Over 5,500 receiving yards now. What a career he has put together.
Stud.
All right, we wrap it up with an Air Comfort Solutions hot take for OU Missouri. Gabe, you're first up. Hot take.
Scorching hot.
Okay.
Scorching, Ted. Ahmad Hardy, under 100 yards rushing.
Ooh.
It's so scorching hot. It's the same one I had. Okay. Well, if we since you stole my hot take, I'll go the flip side. OU has a 100-yard rusher.
Whoa!
Who is it going to be?
I don't know.
Jaden Ott?
Mateer?
Dude,
I don't even know who it's going to be.
You almost just burnt my eyebrows off with that take.
Wait, you're not saying OU has 100 yards rushing.
No. 100-yard
rusher.
Rusher.
We're trying to get hot here.
Well,
I like that the producer's laughing at that take in my ear. That's pretty good.
We're going to have it. His name's John Mateer.
There you go. Hey.
What if it was Jaden Ott? Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah,
wouldn't that be something?
A chance.
Oklahoma and Missouri coming up 11 a.m. on Owen Field. Got to win to stay in. We'll see you next week on Sooner Game Day.